Hi, Division Agents. So, where can I get maxed out God-rolled pieces from? I get asked this question quite a bit, and honestly, I won't lie to you, farming for God-rolled attributes on the Division 2 can be a big hassle, especially if you're trying to get max attribute rolls on a specific piece of gear. So what I've done with this video is compiled the best and most efficient ways to farm for max rolled gear and mods. So if you happen to miss out on the recent crafting station bug that was recently patched, where you could basically craft God-rolled mods and gear, then you may find this video helpful because this video will be a guide to farming for maxed rolled gear and mods. I'll be showing you guys the fastest and most time-efficient methods for farming God-rolled pieces. I will also be giving you guys some tips and tricks on what you can do to increase your odds of getting a God roll drop. Because although this game's loot system is governed by RNG, there are some things you can do to greatly increase your chances of getting maxed rolled loot more often. And I'll be sharing that with you later in the video. Okay guys, let me first just address one big misconception here about what drops where. Because I've noticed that a lot of newer players tend to believe that every item in the game has a special location where it can be attained. So, for those of you who may not know, what you guys need to understand is that there is a general loot pool that contains most of the items in the game, with some raid-exclusive exotics being the exception. So, the Ouroboros exotic SMG is an example. This weapon can only be attained in the Paradise Loot Incursion. Paradise Lost Incursion, sorry. Don't know why I said loot, but anyway. Chances are, whatever you are trying to farm for will be in the general loot pool. So there's no need for you to farm any specific area per se. Okay, so once you log on, I highly recommend that you complete your daily and weekly projects first, especially the weekly SHD requisition project, since this one is quick and all you need to do is donate some material. Not sure if you guys know this, but the bonuses you get from completing these project missions have been buffed after the Project Resolve update, so you will be getting better quality loot, along with exotic caches, components, and a bunch of other high-end item rewards. Now, if you don't want to do projects for whatever reason, you also have the option of farming the Occupied Dark Zone. The Occupied Dark Zone can be identified as the Invaded Dark Zone, so you should see a red blade icon, like this. And this dark zone will yield the highest rewards, better quality loot, and a higher exotic drop rate. But there is a major downside. The Occupied Dark Zone is a brutal environment and tends to be more crowded with players that are looking to PvP. So I'm not gonna lie to you, it will be difficult to farm in the ODZ as a solo player, especially if you are fairly new with no solo Dark Zone build. And if this is you that I'm describing, then you should definitely check out some of my solo Dark Zone builds in the description if you're considering venturing into the ODZ. You can get some really good loot drops in the Occupied Dark Zone, so don't let the fear of encountering another player discourage you, because with high risk comes high rewards, right? So just make sure you're mainly focusing on clearing the heroic landmarks. These landmarks will yield better loot drops. But you can also get good drops from the challenging and normal landmarks. In fact, you may still have a chance at a god roll or exotic from even the normal landmarks, but if you're near a heroic, why not just clear it, right? Because heroic difficulty landmarks will drop better quality loot. That's for sure. Also, if you're new and don't know, any loot that you acquire from clearing landmarks or killing enemies within the Dark Zone will be contaminated and will need to be extracted at any of the 3 extraction zones. The downside of this, however, is that once you call for an extraction, any player that is in that Dark Zone will see your extraction on the map. This means that if they choose to do so, they can come and hijack your extraction and steal your loot. But they will also need to be in your server. So here's a tip. Make sure you are constantly checking the nearby area for any players during your extraction. That way, if you do see a player nearby, you have time to flee the area and get away before they get closer and decide to go rogue on you. Some players, on the other hand, don't always have bad intentions. Like this guy right here, he just wants to get his loot out of here and that's it. Also, keep in mind that you can also break down your gear to get DZ resources, however, these will need to be extracted as well. Dark Zone resources, for those those who don't know, are the currency required for purchasing mods or gear in any of the 3 Dark Zone vendors. So if you decide to farm the ODZ, you can be accumulating Dark Zone resources, which you can later use to buy exotic caches from the vendor just outside the alpha checkpoint of any Dark Zone. Now, for those of you who don't want to farm in the Dark Zone, you can also farm level 4 control points. After clearing each control point, you will have a chance to get loot from the orange crates in the settlement. So very similar to farming in the Dark Zone, but you get way more XP and won't have to worry about rogue agent players bothering you. This is how I've gotten some of my max rolled mods, by the way. Level 4 control points is an excellent alternative to Dark Zone farming. If you have already been doing this and haven't really been getting lucky with max rolled attribute drops, then here's what you can do to increase your chances. First of all, make sure the difficulty of your session is set to heroic. That way you can be confident that you're going to be getting the highest chance of God-rolled drops. Secondly, have at least 2 directives on, but you can add more if you can handle it. Having directives activated will not only give you more XP, but it will also increase the amount of targeted loot drops that you get. So if let's say you're trying to farm for Bellstone pieces, and let's just say this area was dropping Bellstone Armory for the day, well, by having directives on, you will be getting more Bellstone brand set drops. Now, these directives will cycle periodically, so depending on when you're watching this video, you may have different directives showing for you, but some of the directives I recommend using are the Fog of War Revisited, Ragers, and Special Ammo. These directives won't put as much of a strain on you, and you can easily clear control points with these directives on, especially if you're using a one-shot rifle build. Just look at how fast you can clear these control points with a one-shot rifle build. It's crazy and makes farming so much quicker. Having this build really speeds up farming significantly, and it really makes clearing control points a walk in the park. And don't forget that you can always reset control points at any given moment. So if you have a favorite control point that you can clear quickly, or if you are farming an area that has the targeted loot you're looking for, then this is a great opportunity. Okay, so one of my preferred ways of farming for maxed rolled gear or mods is by spamming floor 90 in the summit. I have a video out explaining this already, but in this video, I'll be going over it in greater detail. So here's what you can do to get the most out of this method. You will first need to have the floor 90 checkpoint. If you don't have the checkpoint, then what I recommend you do is if you're starting from a low level, try matchmaking and getting into a group at a higher level. This should help you reach floor 90 a lot quicker. You may not get so lucky, however, as you may just find a lot of groups on floor 100 or even lower in the beginning floors. But if this is the case, then just get to floor 90 on your own like I did. And what you can do to speed it up is set the difficulty to normal so you clear the floors easily. Then once you reach floor 90, return to the lobby and change the difficulty to legendary. Now, some of you may be thinking, legendary? Oh, hell no, absolutely not. Prajna, are you out of your mind? Don't worry, because with the farming build that I'm about to show you, you will get this done quite easily, trust me. But if this is a little too extreme for you, you can always just do this farm on heroic. With fewer directives, it'll still work just fine. So change the difficulty to legendary, right? Now what you're going to do next is add the following directives: no regen, Fog of War Revisited, ammo hoarders, pistolero, special ammo, and ragers. So you should have on 6 directives, right? Now here's the build I'll be using for this floor 90 summit farm. This build is great and will allow you to have more directives on since you won't really need to fire your weapon. That is because your skills will be doing most of the work. So this gives you a great opportunity to activate the pistolero and ammo hoarder directives, and by adding more directives, you will increase the chance of more targeted loot drops. So I'm gonna do a run or two for this floor 90 farm to demonstrate it so you guys can get a better understanding, right? So once you start up floor 90, you should get a message on screen notifying you of 3 hostile threats. These are the named NPC bosses. Now once you clear the first wave, the first boss should spawn right after. So you should see a message that notifies you when the boss spawns on screen. Eliminate them and secure the area of remaining NPCs. And another wave should spawn right after with the second boss. Eliminate the boss and secure the area. Now, once the third wave spawns, be very careful not to completely clear the floor, as this will overwrite the checkpoint to floor 91. Eliminate the boss, grab your loot, and save at least 2 NPCs just to be safe. Then pull up your map and return to lobby. Just be very careful, stay in cover as much as you can, and avoid getting too close to these NPCs because they will surely ruin your day. Also, just remember to have plenty of space in your inventory so you can grab your loot quickly and repeat this, because you don't want to be rummaging through your inventory while legendary NPCs are on the loose trying to kill you, right? That'll be a disaster waiting to happen. So yeah, just so this video isn't too long, if you guys would like to see the breakdown of this build, you can check out this video right here. I'll leave a link in the description for you as well. Countdown is also another option for farming max rolled gear and mods, but it's on the slower side in my opinion. Countdown is actually better for leveling up your expertise because of the high volume of loot drops. So if you decide to run Countdown, just make sure you have your targeted loot selected, and if I were you, I'd run it on heroic difficulty. This is Prajna, thank you so much for watching, and if you made it to the end of the video, you are a gem and an amazing person. Most people have a very short attention span, and you are the exception. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them down in the comment section. Keep it cool, keep it classy, and see you in the next video. Peace out.